Hello everybody, I'm going to show you how to make a proper embossing folder, and this size I've got in front of me is going to be for a certain item, but this can be made as a A4, A5, any size you want, but this particular size for me is, I'll explain later on when I get further into it, like when I finished it, because I also want to ask your opinion about it. So anyway, learn how to make an embossing folder. So if you stick with me now and play along, I'll show you how it's done. So what I've done for me, for my size I want, I've cut it 4 inches by about 7 1/4. So, and because I've cut my designs on the cameo machine, you may have to use something like flower punches, heart punches, a punch of some sort to be able to, if you haven't got a cameo, that is. Anyway, here we go. So what you need to do, you want to cut 2 pieces the size you want, and as I say, I was going to do it A4 length and width, but just for the purposes of this video I wanted to do a small one. So I cut out a design on my cameo, and I cut it out 4 times, and this is the shape I'm cutting. It don't look anything at the moment, but it will do in a minute. So when you've cut them out exactly the same, so when you're cutting out from a paper punch, you have to be very accurate indeed, but on a cameo, because you've got it set up, it'll obviously cut it for you accurately, but I'll just talk from now on as if you've got a cameo machine and you're following along. So right, these size pieces fit near enough exactly to my board, and so what we have to do first, not worrying about these pieces yet that I've got here for them, we're going to deal with those later. So first we need to stick these on. So you have to do, oops, excuse me, so we need to, I'm using a Mod Podge matte medium, and I'm just covering it all on the board, getting a good coverage. And then placing this first one on. Like anything, the first one's always the easiest. Then get Mod Podging the next layer on. Make sure you don't have too much glue building up, because you want to not have a build up of glue in the crevices, because you want to get a sharper design as possible when you start to use this. So right, that's on. I'll whiz the video through till we come to the next stage. You need to dry it. Make sure it's fully dry. So that's now dry. That's what we now need to start the next process. So the next thing we need to do is, now this is going to be very fiddly and you need to be really exact. We're just laying that in there for now, and make sure that you've got an equal amount all the way around your, we're not sticking those parts in because I'm now going to start sticking in those pieces in the centre of my flourish. So this is where it gets really fiddly. Yeah. So I draw off my brush. Right, so we're just using the tip of my finger I'm going to just place, I'll just double check that. As I say, it's very fiddly, but if you've got the time and the patience, it will happen. So that's, oh goodness. Right, so now you've got that first one in place, you can take out your flourish and begin assembling the others, making sure that they're all very exactly placed on top. I have got some tweezers somewhere, but I can't locate them, so I'm just going to have to the B side. Right, so with these you want 4 for each flourish. Now here I'm going to, in fact I'll use this envelope, I'm going to glue these together first. So I'll turn it up that way to help it dry. We do the same with the other one. Okay, so we're now ready with our flourishes. Now they're dry enough to use, so you place them inside. That's better. So there we are. So you place them inside like so. Then I think we'll use some strong glue. Then on the main body of your flourish, if you're doing a flourish, put some glue on, just in certain spots for now, and then when you've done that, put that on, and fingers crossed that they stick. There we are, perfect. So now we'll get gluing here. Just let that dry off a tad. In fact, just make sure. Right, so we need to pop that in together. And then before you pull it apart, put some tape on it. Now let's see. I've cut a piece of paper. Cut a piece of paper and we'll try this out. There we have an embossed piece of paper. This is just printer paper. I'm so pleased that's come out. I'm really pleased. And the idea behind my making one that size is actually because if I, hold on, I'm not going to actually use this for a book, but if you like fold it like that, that will be a nice cover for a book spine, and that's why I decided on making an embossing folder, because you can't get one A4 lengths, and even though the books I'm making at the moment are A5, this particular one is for one that's slightly smaller than A5. But I do actually make A4 books, proper bound A4 books. So now I know that this works doing it my way, I can make some embossing folders for my books. So I hope you enjoyed the little tutorial, even though it was seemed a bit mishmash. We got there in the end. And if you wanted to make an embossing folder for card, like printer card, I would strongly suggest you make your offset slightly bigger. So make this offset, this hole, slightly bigger still than that, because even though this looks a lot bigger than that, it isn't actually. So you need to make it, your offset, bigger still, so that it will take the thickness of the card you use. It will all explain itself when you come to use it for card, because you'll find that you'll have hardly any impression on anything detailed like that. And also around the outside, like the offset for this is you need to have a little bit wider. I haven't got a, hang on, I might have. No, I haven't. See, on another one I'm making, the offset looks to be about, maybe, hang on, nothing like a ruler is there. I'd say about 2mm. Well, I would try and do your offset 3mm. So when you take, because I'm doing another one here, so when you take these pieces out, let's show you. So there, I've put the centre one in. So when you, it's ever so hard to explain what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry if you're not understanding, but okay, so that piece there, I don't need to keep it, needs to be thicker, like, so when you do your offset, it's bigger like that, as opposed to being narrower. Can you see me moving it? You need to have the gap wider than, and I would think about 3mm should be okay if you're using card. But as I say, if you're using paper like I've done, then the offset is only 2mm. But maybe it could have done with being a little bit bigger, like 3mm, because it could be sharper still, but that might be down to my placing the pieces on top of each other. Maybe I wasn't accurate enough. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, enjoyed the process, and I was thinking of making these for selling on my Etsy shop, because that's something else as well. I'm going to be opening my shop again. I won't go into why I shut it and all that. Let's just say somebody wasn't very nice. And anyway, so if you think it's a good idea for me to sell these handmade things like this, because you can't get an already pre-made one, if you did want one, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment and tell me what you think, because I'd like to know if it's worth my bothering to do these. I don't mind doing plainer ones, but to do something as fiddly as that, you need a lot of patience. Anyway, bye for now. I'll be back with a time-lapse video maybe later tonight, because I feel like a journaling frenzy. So thanks very much for your time, and thanks for popping along. See you soon. Bye bye.